What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing well. I'm Jack McAdoo. This is a Life Illuminated podcast. I get into a lot of topics on this show. On each episode, I try to bring something new and educational for you. But today, I wanted to talk about relationships. I'm not a relationship expert, sort of speak, but I am someone that has a lot of wisdom on relationships. I started out as a player like most dudes in high school and in my 20s, and then it progressed into a marriage, and that marriage produced a son. It also produced a divorce, which later on produced a death of my former partner. And then that led to me having to tell my son that his mother had passed away. So all these things led to knowledge, it led to lessons, and it led most of all to wisdom in relationships. So I don't have to be a quote unquote relationship expert, but I can come to you with a lot of wisdom and knowledge through the gamut of relationships. Again, from being a player to being in a serious committed relationship and even a death in a relationship. And what I've learned since then, and hopefully, kind of impart it on you. I was for the past couple of days, I've been really watching a friend of mine who is a reader, and she's in Australia, and she's absolutely amazing. That's another story. But I noticed the questions, and again, it is social media. That's really not where you should technically go for your readings, with purpose and to find what you need to find in life. You kind of do that on a one-on-one. But I get it. Everybody's looking for a general read, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But what I see in her comment section are a lot of people asking if someone is cheating, if they're going to be in a relationship with someone, if someone is thinking about them, and it just runs the gamut. And again, social media is not the place for that. The answer to all of those questions, if they were truly serious, can be found within themselves. It can be found within ourself. If no matter what it is, doesn't even have to be relationships. If we're seeking an answer to something, all we have to do is listen to what's already inside of us. It's already there. We have to feel in the question, feel into that question, feel into that desire, and the answers will come. They're already there, and you know it. We all know it that they're already there. We just hate to hear the truth from our own self, from what our own thoughts and what our own mind is saying. We just don't want to hear the truth, but we have this thing inside of us, our ego, that if we hear it from someone else, and if it's what we want to hear, then it's validation. And even if we hear the answer that we don't want to hear, we're going to continue to ask other people until we find the answer that we do want to hear. But relationships, man, I know people to this day that have been in them from high school. They have been in these relationships, they have found love. They either have kids or they don't. And what's interesting is most of the people that I know, just thought of this, but most of the people that I know that have been in long-term relationships, I mean years, don't have kids. I'm not saying that you should not have kids to have a permanent, loving, lasting relationship. I'm just saying a lot of the people that I know. But again, there are those that have kids, but they've worked at it. And I'm not talking about stress and struggles, but they've been through those stress and struggles with each other. They don't blame it on each other. They find that time to love each other. And that's the commitment, to love each other through the faults, through everything, through the shit, through each other's shit. And that's what you need to look for in a relationship. Today is a massive hookup culture. It's not like it just started. You know what I mean? People were hooking up since hookups, but people rely on hookup culture more than anything. And they believe that this could be the lifelong partner through a hookup. It's not about dudes looking for ass or women looking for abs, because if that is all you look for in a person, then that's what you're going to get, ass and abs. You're not going to get love. You're not going to find that lifelong relationship. Look, if that's what you find in the beginning and it blossoms into something, Most of the time, it's still not gonna work after 1, 2, 3 years. I'm just saying, statistics kinda prove that because you're looking at superficial things. You're looking at what's on the outside. You need to look at what's on the inside first. Age, there's a thing about age, you know? I get teased a lot, but there's a thing about age. Screw age, man. If you're looking for a long term and it works and the synchronicities with each other are there, then why would you be worried about that? You know what I mean? You have to first block out the noise. You have to first go within yourself and not give a shit about what someone else thinks of you. Once you can establish that within yourself, then you're not going to care what anyone else thinks about your relationship because, first of all, it's none of their business. It's two people within that relationship that love each other. But you have to develop a relationship. You know, someone that's kind of been through it all and has that wisdom. You Dating is one thing. I'll say this real quick. Dating is one thing. I date, but I'm not looking for that long term. But if you're trying to get into this relationship and you're trying to find it, you got to be you. I've already lost my space, but you got to find that person. Dating is fine. But if you want this long term relationship, you got to give up that hookup culture. There's nothing wrong with dating. If you're going to go and it leads to something else, hey, that's fine. I'm not hating on that. But that is not what's gonna lead to this long-term relationship that people want. People desire a partner in their life. People desire someone that loves them and supports them and lifts them when they're down and doesn't jump on them because they're having a shitty day. If someone is being kind to you, your partner is being kind to you, and you're having a crappy day, it does not give you the right to jump on them. But if you do, and you're man or woman enough to just apologize, for real, apologize, then everything's gonna be good because the love is there. But if you continue to wanna be a player, and women can be players too, if that's what you're looking to do, then don't look for a relationship. And I'm learning as I get older, why waste someone's time? If you're not jumping into a relationship that is going to be this lifelong commitment, then why get into it? Because all it's gonna lead to is heartache, anger, hate. It will end up in that if that is not what you're looking for. Now, I was in a relationship after, um, my wife, who I divorced, passed away. I got into a relationship that lasted about 16 years. Never got married, never had the intention of getting married, just never did, you know? And it went well, but situations and things turned it hostile, and we both got out of it. It was rough, there was a business involved, and it was just tough. It was extremely tough, on both of us, actually. But it was time to end it because eyes were wandering on both sides, and it wasn't a full commitment. In the beginning, it was, but I think because we knew that there was never gonna be a marriage involved, that solid commitment wasn't there. This, I guess, in hindsight, was never meant to be the lifelong. So when you're dating, and again, dating and being in a relationship are two different things. You can date, go out, take someone to dinner, enjoy, do your thing, but you already know that you're really not looking for a relationship. You're just dating. You're having a good time. Dating can lead to a relationship, absolutely, man, and that's usually the can be the best kind, where you've dated for a while, and then all of a sudden, you're seeing more and more and more, and you're finding out more things about each other, and it just happens. The synchronicity is there, and you begin to talk about it, be open about it, what your goals are, what each person's goals are, what their futures are, what they desire in life. And if those things can mesh, give it a try because that's the foundation for something to last. Knowledge teaches you this. But again, if you're dating and you like the ass and the abs and you think, yeah, this is the one, and you get into a relationship, more than likely, man, it's just not gonna work out for you. I'm just being real. I'm being real. Look around you, look at your friends, look at your family, and you see that it's true. But a long term is not something where you're looking for a reader on a social media platform to give you your life lessons. That's something that you need to first go within yourself, find the true questions that you're looking for, then go to a reader on a personal note, a one-on-one, and see if you can figure it out from there. Because social media, we kind of joke around about it. If I had this free minute with someone to ask one question, to get a card or something like that, I wouldn't be asking about, if someone is cheating, if someone is doing this, and what I would be asking, what are the steps that I needed, to find my true purpose? Am I on that correct path? What can I do to benefit humanity and benefit myself? Because you are first and foremost in your questions. You should always be finding those things that can help you lift yourself and then in turn lift others, right? Worry about the relationship stuff later. And again, if you're worried if someone is cheating, they're probably cheating. Okay. I'm just saying they probably are. Not always, but they probably are. If you're wondering if someone is going to stay in a relationship, they probably aren't because you're already asking that question. You wouldn't be asking that question if the relationship was solid, period. And if you want someone to stay in a relationship that right now is not solid, you need to talk to your partner. You need to talk to them. Why are we straying? Why are we doing this? That's the real question. Not is someone going to stay with me? Is someone thinking about me? Who knows, man? Pick up the phone and call them and ask them. If you are afraid to ask somebody if they're thinking about you, then why pursue it? Because you can sure enough call and say, I've been thinking about you. Change it up. Call them and say, I've been thinking about you, man. You want to get together? You want to go to lunch? You want to go to dinner? That's how it starts. That's how the realness of a relationship can start. But there's a lot there, man. There's a lot in a relationship. Again, if you're just going from a hookup and you say, let's start dating, and then you're dating, and then you get into this semi relationship, it's not going to be there forever. So it comes that thing that you have to ask yourself, do I want the hurt and the heartache and the fear and the hate down the road? No one wants that. And if it's going to head to that, then why do it? Keep what you have. And if you're dating and you have multiple dating partners, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying hooking up with every single one of them. I'm saying just dating. Once you find that one, they're going to be cool that you found that one. And they're still going to date other people. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're not in a relationship, you can date as many people as you want. Trust and believe that. And if anyone says that you can't, that's bullshit. I'm not talking about a relationship. I'm talking about dating, just going out, going to a club, going to a restaurant, going to a show, a movie, art, whatever. That's dating. That's not a relationship. You don't own anyone. Just because someone says, yes, I'm going out with you, you don't own them. I feel like I'm talking to the youth more. You know what I mean? And when I say youth, I'm talking 20s, teens and 20s, because you haven't been there yet. You haven't had that knowledge yet, that wisdom, and you'll get it. You will get it. Trust me. And then everything that you thought you wanted, you'll learn that you didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to love yourself first before any relationship. If you can't love yourself first, you're not going to really love the other person, and you're not going to love the relationship. Because if you don't truly love yourself and you get into a relationship, then that's more of a codependency thing. You're looking for someone just to have there. That's it. Touch, feel, sex, whatever it is, man. That's what you want. You're not looking for that true love. You're looking for a dependency on someone. And then you don't want that narcissistic behavior either. The person that does everything, that's looking for a relationship because they want to become the narcissist in that relationship. They want to be the controlling person, that they're never at fault. So if you're a codependent, and I see a lot of this, and as an NLP coach, I've talked to people about this, you have the narcissist and the codependent in a relationship, and that is going to explode probably on a daily basis. And you really have to be careful with that. And you recognize a true narcissist. They're the ones that blame you for everything, control you, question you. They do all these things. That is a true narcissist, not someone that you say, "Oh, they're a narcissist." No. A true narcissist is gonna have you fearing a little bit, but at the same time, you're forgiving because you're codependent on it. You look at all the shit that they have and everything that they're placing upon you as, "Ah, okay, I can deal with it. I still love them." You have to get away from that. You have to love yourself first, go with inside first, love yourself, find that love, tell yourself every day that you love yourself. Then you can find a relationship. But you have to make sure that the person that you want to be in a relationship with is solid in their own life too. Why get into a relationship with someone that's scattered? You know what I mean? That doesn't know what they want in life, that can't share their ideas for growth with you. If they can't see this amazing future for themselves, then why would you want to be a part of that? You want to be with someone that you can grow with, love with, grow old with. If you desire children, have children with someone that's going to support your dreams and visions and not laugh at you about them, not think that some way out crazy idea that you have is actually crazy and put you down for dreaming, put you down for your belief systems. You want to find the one that is going to match that energy, man, match that frequency and say, "Yeah, man, I love that. Look, I'm not into it, but I love what you're doing. Maybe I can grow from it. Maybe I can't, but I'm still going to support you with it because I love you." That's what you need to look for. There's a few real men out there. There's a few real women out there at a lot of ages. And that's what you need to look for. It normally comes to you out of the blue. I'll be honest, it will normally just happen out of the blue. But once you get that spark, you really need to work on you. Make sure that this spark is what you truly desire and what they truly desire. Because you'll know. You will absolutely know. Lessons are can be a mother. You know what I mean? But use them for your benefit in life. Use the lessons for your benefit. Gain the wisdom as you get older. You know what I mean? And you'll see what I'm talking about is true. Don't always worry about if someone is thinking about you. Like I said, call them, ask them. You know what I mean? If they love you or they're interested in you, they are going to tell you, you know what? I have been thinking about you. If you can't be that real with a person, then you're not ready for a long-term commitment with anyone. You know what I mean? You're just not. I watch people get so crazy with each other. They move in with each other and they're still not loving themselves. The other person's still not loving themselves. Everything just feels comfy, cozy. You know what I mean? Oh, I've got them. I can sleep with them. I can do this. I can do that. Everything is just ah. But are your souls and your hearts truly connected? Are they there? Do you still need to go satisfy your sexual appetite outside of that relationship? There's a lot of people I know too that agree to that. They have this thing in their relationship to where they can still see whoever they want while still loving each other. I'm not that person. I'm not hating on that. If it works for them, it works for them. I am not saying that if something works for you, don't do it. You know what I mean? If it's against the norm or against the grain, but it works for you, continue to do it. And again, who gives a shit what anyone else says? But those things aren't for me. And that is the wisdom and the knowledge that I've gained over time. And it doesn't work. So without harping on it, you just first and foremost love yourself. That's the answer to most questions. Love yourself. Find what you want and what you're looking for in a partner, in a relationship. But first and foremost, man, make sure outside of loving yourself, make sure your relationship is solid, that you have found someone that supports you no matter what, that is there regardless. That if you do have a disagreement, you know that voices aren't going to be raised, but that the disagreements are opinions and that you find that middle ground and continue on with your love. Relationships aren't peachy. It takes a lot. And these people that I've known that have been together all of their lives know this. It pays to even ask them questions. If you know someone like that, ask them. I'm not talking about someone that's been married or in a relationship for 5 years, 10 years. Talk to the ones that have been married 20 or in the relationship 20, 30 years. Ask them because they understand the trials that were coming. They knew that there was going to be some shit because most people will start dating and getting into a fresh relationship thinking that everything is going to be smooth. Because when you first start dating and get into that relationship early on, probably the first year, you're on your best behavior, man. You are on your best behavior. You're presenting your best self. And then you start to feel comfortable and you start showing your shit. And then people get bent out of shape. So in the beginning, again, I'm talking about lifelong stuff. You need to ask, what's your quirks? And if they say, well, I really don't have any, walk away. Walk away. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And be real and let them know that they are in a safe space, that they can be real with the answers. Because if you both are looking for the same thing, let's get the shit out of the way in the very beginning. Know what you're getting. It's like handing them a business card. Hey, I'm Jack. This is me. Find me for this. Find me for that. You know, but you got to be real and you got to be able to answer the questions. And that should be a first sign. If you decide to make this, excuse me, strong commitment, I almost choked, strong commitment with someone, if you can't ask them what pisses them off and what their dislikes are, it's not going to work. You see what I'm saying? Look, everything is not agreeable. There are going to be hiccups. There's not this perfect person. I get that. But what I'm saying is, if the simple things cannot be asked, is it really worth pursuing? And when you ask the question, and if it's something you don't agree with, how strong of that disagreement are you? Is it truly something that's not a big deal? Look, I don't really like that, but I can handle it because that's what makes them. You know what I mean? You're not going to find this perfect person. If something you don't agree with in life and they do, it's not the real reason to throw everything out. It's something that if you can work with it, pursue it. But the bottom line is what I'm saying is if they can't answer that question truthfully, then you're not going to get a truth in a relationship. I'm being real. If you are looking for something that is just lifelong for you, you have to be it here. You have to ask those questions or you're just going to get shit. Why have a relationship just to have a relationship? Then you need to look in your life to see why you feel that you have to be in a relationship. You don't have to be in anything, you know? Be single if you desire. But at the same time, if you want someone to grow old with, these are the questions that you have to ask yourself, ask your potential partner, whether it's male, female, male, female, female. It doesn't matter what it is. It applies to everyone. And you really have to go deep. But again, first and foremost, find you, find what you're looking for, and make damn sure that you love yourself. If you have to sit in front of a mirror every day for 7 minutes and just repeat, I love myself, I love you, while you're looking in the mirror, that'll help. It'll wire your subconscious mind to love yourself. Do things for you. Don't call someone and ask, are they fooling around? Are they cheating? My answer would be absolutely. You know, if you had to ask me that question, it's yes. You know, and then you're not going to like it. Oh my gosh. It's like, look, it's not written in stone that you ask me because you believe that they are. And there has to be a reason why. And don't blame yourself for the reason. It's usually them, or it could be you too. You know what I mean? In a cheating situation, if you're at home and your partner is not able to fulfill their sexual desires with their partner and you're just not doing it for them, they will look. I'm just being real. They're going to look. But again, that's communication. You know, I know I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, it's communication in all regards to your relationship. You really, really have to look for it. Anyway, I hope this helps some of you. Again, I'm not that quote unquote relationship expert, but I am that person that has wisdom and knowledge and has seen it all. And again, I was in a long term relationship. I've had a divorce. I've had a death of someone that I was married to. And then that is insane to have to tell your child that their parent has died. That's part of love. That's part of a deep relationship. And that's rough. And the thing is, and I will share this with you, is that when I was divorced, yes, we had a son. He was, in his teens, but I was already in a long term relationship, had already been in this relationship for years. And this person passed away. And the thing that I enjoyed and loved was that my current partner at that time, she allowed me to have grief. She allowed me to share my love. She understood the moment that I was having with my son. She understood that. She understood that this was pre our relationship and that I did have a life pre our relationship. And she respected that. And that meant so much to me. And a lot of people need to understand that for themselves, that your partner had a life before you. They could have been in a serious relationship. They could have been in a marriage. They could have gone through a divorce. They could have gone through so many things. They could have had a child, lost a child, but there was a life before you. Learn to respect that. And that is the one thing I can say about her is that when the death of a former spouse happened in my life, it was amazing. She allowed me to grieve. And the here's the kicker on that. It was the day before Valentine's. So I can share that with you. It was the day before Valentine's. I did not take away from my current relationship. I still honored it. But at the same time, I was allowed to grieve for a loss, the loss of my son's mother, the loss of the mother of my child. I was able to do that. That's love. That is caring. And again, that person in that relationship in my life didn't it went 16 years, but it got to a point that we had to separate because of the lives we were leading, and just things happen. And that could happen in your life too. That's what I'm talking about in a partner, that they have to accept those things. And you do too. It's not a one-way street. So on that note, take the wisdom, apply it. If you have to go on social media and talk to someone, schedule a one-on-one so they can really deep dive. But I would hope that you would try to find something on social media that suits your true purpose. What you're looking for in life. Dive deep, man. Dive deep. It's not a game. Honestly, it's not a game. And no matter what the answer is, unless it's something you like, that you're feeding your ego, you're going to keep searching until you find it. So anyway, man, enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, no matter where you are. Thank you for listening to the episode. Share the show. Means much to me. Peace and aloha, everyone.